Hey everyone, this is Dawn and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second installment of the Man Oh Man card collaboration that I am participating in along with Brandy at Left-Handed Crafter and Carla, who is Unique Whimsy. Hey Carla and Brandy. So we are doing this Man Oh Man collaboration, card collaboration, and each month, and this goes on for a year, and this is our second month, where we are creating some cards featuring the men in our lives. And I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with, and we don't create that much for the men. And then when you do need a more masculine card, it's kind of like, oh my goodness. So I really thought this was a great idea for a challenge and a monthly card collab. So this month our theme is time, and I think Brandy came up with that, and I thought it was a really great idea. So here are some of the supplies I used. I've got this Tim Holtz paper pad called Paper Stash, I guess, and it features this kind of clock motif throughout it. And then I have this Tim Holtz stamp set. I got this not too long ago from Tuesday Morning, which I just realized that this little sentiment is on upside down. But anyways, this was a great quote here featuring time, and I was like, oh, how perfect. It also has the time piece here that coordinates perfectly. I ended up not using that, but I did use this sentiment, so I was like, oh my goodness, how perfect. I did use my trusty black archival ink, definitely some vintage photo. I used some gold delicata ink as well, some twine. I did use this punch for some small details. I love a heart on just about anything. My trusty little speckle stamp, I think I just used just about on everything. I also used these layering punches that I've had for years and years and years. These are old from Stampin' Up, but they layer up perfectly. So let me go ahead and show you my cards. And oh, I will show you. So I did do a slimline card again with the offcut. So if you take a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and on the 11-inch side you want to trim it at 7 inches. So then you've got two pieces here, and it's 2 card bases. So when you fold this in half, this dimension is 3.5 by 8.5 inches. So where you cut it at 7, when you fold it in half, 3.5. So this is a really great slimline card size. This also works great in a business size envelope. And then when you use the little offcut here and fold it in half, the dimension you get is just like a small kind of square card. It's 4.25 by 4 inches. So the cards that I went ahead and created, here is the first one. It is a slimline card. So I used a craft cardstock as the base, and I layered it with some black cardstock, and then this great piece that was in that Tim Holtz paper pad. So of course it's featuring these time pieces, and I tried to let the paper speak for itself as much as possible. So I did use some of those black soot stickles in the corners here a little bit, on the centers of these clocks, and just in some of these dark spaces in here. It just gives a little bit of shine. Up here you can see a little bit of that too, so I used it sparingly, but it's there. I also used my little speckle stamp. Here's where I added the little hearts that I punched out in a few places here. I did use a white pen also to give a little bit of interest as well. You'll see a little bit of it around this piece, and put a little, you know, reflection type piece on the hearts. This is some great ribbon I've had for a long time. Found that in my ribbon stash. And then here, this sentiment from that stamp set is popped up on some foam tape. So it's over that ribbon. I did use some twine, and I used one of these little Tim Holtz charms that says life. I did put a little bit a small glue dot under there to hold this in place, but just that twine, I was trying to embellish this as little as possible, but I kept thinking, okay, it's done, it's done, it's done. And then finally I came back with this twine and this little charm, and I think it finished it off very nicely. So this is actually a pretty simple card. And then I did stamp on the inside from that Tim Holtz stamp set, Enjoy the Journey. used one of those little heart punches, and then kind of put it back here where you can sign your card on the back. So that's the slimline card. And then for the off-cut card, this is that smaller one. So again, I've got that craft cardstock base, and I layered with black cardstock, and then I took that gold ink pad, and I used my speckle stamp in the gold on the background of this black. That was all I used, and then I just kind of ran the ink pad around the edges of that black cardstock, and then I just tied some twine, wrapped it about 3 times around the card. I just used some tape to secure it on the back, and then I did pop up on one piece of foam tape, or one layer of foam tape, this little cut apart from that same Tim Holtz paper pad. So time flies. I actually went to my computer and typed this up and printed it on cardstock, and then I just used my punches to punch that out, added some of those speckles on here as well. So yeah, that was from my computer. And then when you open it up, time flies when you are having fun. I also typed that on my computer and just layered, typed it or printed that out on white cardstock and layered it, added some distress ink around the edges. So those are my card shares for this month's time theme for the Man Oh Man card collaboration. So definitely check out Brandy and Carla's channels down in the description box below. I am looking very forward to seeing what they have created for this month's masculine themed card collaboration. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Would love it if you give us a thumbs up, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Until next time.